Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen.
Good Saturday morning. So thank God for moms. And this morning, listen, I don't even know how to introduce our guest this morning because I met him, and I'm not going to say his name yet, but I met him reluctantly. Let me say that. On a board that I sit, and the president of the board came to me and said, we have this guy that we want to bring on. And I said, oh God, we had numbers to this board already and people don't work, right? So now we have another body that's just not going to do anything. Why are we bringing him here? He goes, man, give him a chance. He's going to, make you really proud, whatever. So I said, reluctantly, and this is true, reluctantly I said, okay, this one turned out to be the best board member that we have. Raised funds. We sit on primary school student in their foundation. I apologize to those other board members who are listening because I did, right? But he came on and took off running. He's young, he's energetic, he's focused and determined to help young people. So of course this program is all about youth and getting scholarships for the best and the brightest primary school kids to go to high school. And so I just knew, and I had already pictured in my mind that this was going to be a big X on his sheet at the end of the year because we tried to review and say, okay, do we want to keep you? What have you brought to the scene? But by the end of that year, I could find nothing wrong to say about him. So when I found out about this award that he was nominated for by his mom through BFM, and he told me, what all she had said. I said, well, send me the information. I said, this is exhaustive. And he said, I know, right? But anyway, Jaydian, good morning to you.
Jaydian Miller.
Jaydian J. Miller. And good morning to Mom, Miss Ramin. Good morning. How are you? I know you're sleepy, right? Because you're sitting there looking like, I need some coffee.
I know.
But welcome to Sunday Morning Cafe, Jaydian. Of course, you've been here before, representing the Primary School Foundation, actually. And what else did you come on for? Was it Cindy's tournament?
No, it was just for Bahamas Primary School. Good morning, by the way. Sorry.
Yes.
Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Good morning, sir. And thank you for having us here. Yeah, I came on for Bahamas Primary School. But not for Cindy's event. No,
okay, all right. And then I didn't know, I know Jaydian's sisters, Yasmin and Leslie. I didn't know that he even existed, and I've known them for a while. But he didn't live here. So when I met him, never made the connection that, he was related to them. Mm-hmm. And then as we started to talk, actually Yasmin was the one who said, her brother Jaydian, and I was like, your brother Jaydian? And she goes, yeah. And then I see them all in Mario's, and I'm like, oh, okay. So this is the connection. So I never really knew about you, but I knew your siblings for many years. So welcome to the show again. And I guess this award was the National Men's Empowerment Award done by BFM. And you had to put something together to get him nominated. So he was one of many, not the only one.
Good morning, Bahamas.
Yes.
What they want to do, they want to nominate 40 persons, but he was one of 7 for the first initial installation.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And so when I read this artist, I mean, okay, Jaydian has been doing stuff from, I guess, 2002. Well, when you were 15, you started, in 2001. And then he goes straight through to his personal service initiatives with Get Sweaty, Stay Pretty, and the Cindy Smith Bowl, which we all really appreciate because, breast cancer is huge. And, of course, we just came out of Breast Cancer Month in October this week. And the Bowl to Brag, Fraternity, Sorority. And let me also say that Jaydian and I both are members of fraternities and sororities. He's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta. So...
Okay, so I'm not a member of
No.
Okay.
So you're not in that group. But Jaydian, tell us, how did you get started in terms of wanting to help young people and wanting to become civic-minded? What motivated you to do that?
Well, I'll start off by saying I want to thank my mom because
Definitely.
When I was younger, through my childhood years, growing up, spending most of my time through Taylor Street, across from Salem Baptist Church, you see a lot of things in that area. And as I was growing up, I said, you know what, when I get older, I want to help people. And my mom didn't know this.
Right.
She had no idea that I was thinking that at that age.
Right.
But when I was sent to Miami to stay with my grand-aunt and grand-uncle, all the fire in me that was building up for the past 15 years came out from age 16 until now. So
Wow.
I've always wanted to help people. That's my God-given purpose now.
Amen.
And I've been doing it for so long, but I said, why do I love this so much? Why do I love helping people so much? And I think when I came home, 2010, that's when I really realized that this is my God-given purpose, and that's my purpose for the rest of my life.
Your initial civic project was Bahamas Primary School Foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
And it grew from there because even on that foundation, you're not just a board member, but you have a scholarship named after you, which is called the Jaydian Miller Fund Scholarship. So he gives personal funds to scholarship recipients.
How do you get yourself? You obviously are very young. I'm not going to ask you to give your age. You know, how is it that you get yourself in the mindset to be so incredibly involved in the community and to be so generous with your, you know, your personal resources, with your time, with your energies? How do you make that shift from, okay, I'm going to go out there and get a job and party and go to the clubs or whatever, and you know, actually be a productive and contributing member of the society?
Well, I'm not going to say I never used to party and do stuff. I used to do it. But the thing is, you have to determine what your priorities are in life. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They want to live in the world, they want to go party, have fun. They just kind of live every day as if it's not something that is important. But in my view, I feel that once you have your priorities in place, and once you know what your purpose, that's important. If you don't know your purpose, you're going to just be living and not living with a purpose. You have to know your purpose.
So how do you determine that? I mean, just for people who are listening,
Okay.
and who want to know, okay, how do I find out or figure out what my purpose is? What did you do?
Well, I guess when I first started doing community service, I realized that was the only thing I did and never got tired of, first of all.
Okay.
That's one thing that I can do, and I don't have to get paid for it, too. Number 3, I do it because it's something that God tells us to do. We must love one another and help one another.
Yes.
And you can't be successful if you don't help other people. So, because I don't get tired of it, because I love it and I don't have to get paid for it, it's something that I love. And I realize that it comes natural. That's the thing. Another thing, it comes naturally.
I was about to say,
You don't
because
have to
even
force
when
it.
I watch you at work, because, you know, I go to Mario's from time to time, and you're there in the evenings mostly, I guess. And even when I watch him interacting with people on the job, there's a certain aura about you, and people gravitate towards him. So, for example, I look at him and what he does and the way that he interacts with his colleagues, and then I think about me and my job environment and even the colleagues that I work with, and I'm trying to figure out how can I take some of what he has and apply that to my job, because he's able to get people to be motivated at night. You know, when you're tired and you're sleepy and
When
you
you're
really don't want to be
anywhere
there.
else but
Exactly.
work. Yeah.
But they work and they respect him, and he's young. And so to your question earlier, you have so much energy and so much motivation and so much
passion.
drive, and you have a passion. Exactly. That's a good word, Alice. A passion for everything that you do. And when we look at these 4 pages, I'm like, obviously this is just the beginning for you, because you indicate, and your mom indicates in here too, that, you know, she's very proud of what you've done, but these are just like some of the things. We don't even know all. And so for you, Mom, I know you're really happy to have him home, number one. And secondly, I mean, I think it's so awesome when you could sit down and talk about your children and what they do. And that's important not only for her, but for you as well, because I was conversing with people this week, and they don't really respect parents. They don't respect elderly people. They don't respect people who have been an influence in their life. They're at this point that you talked about earlier where they don't know what their purpose is. They don't understand why parents say the things they say and do the things they do, and so they rebel. And I'm sure we all went through that period at some point, because my parents used to be like, you need to do this, and I'm like, you think?
Can you
So-
rebel at 35 years old?
I think you rebel every day, Alice. Like, he rebels non-stop.
I live in a constant and consistent state of
So you
rebellion.
must drive your parents crazy. But to Jaydian's point, you know, he and I had a long conversation last week, and even listening to him talk, and we were on WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp, yeah.
We were WhatsApping back and forth for like an hour, because he was like, okay, I need to tell you this story. And so he told me this long, interesting story, and he said, you ready for this? And I said, yeah. But I didn't realize that I was going to be on there for like, but I couldn't not read it, and I couldn't pull myself away, because it was such a testimony. I mean, Jaydian is involved in every single community project there is. And then there are other things that you told me about on that WhatsApp that you would like to still do, that you haven't accomplished in terms of helping others and setting up, you know, funds and all this stuff. So when you look at him, like I said, when I did my research on him at the end of the year, I was like, boy, I need to publicly apologize to you this morning because really and truly, I never expected you to last past maybe 6 months. And you've been there 3 years now?
Yes, ma'am.
3
Apology
years
accepted too.
3 years and still bringing in and doing more than most of us who've been there 10 years or more.
Mom, what was he like growing up?
Be honest, man. Be honest now. Be honest.
Piece of work.
Let me tell you about Jaydian. Jaydian was raised in a Christian home. Was raised by me, and he was not dropped off to church. He was taken to church and to Sunday school. Jaydian was told that he is to love everybody, but first he is to love himself. And you have to love yourself first. And it's easier to love people when you love yourself. Even the unlovable you can love. He was told to respect everybody. There was a time when his school, SAC, he was going to St. Augustine's, and they called me one time. And they told me that Jaydian was just talking in school. Said, I'll be there shortly. When I got there, he looked at my face. I said, let me tell you something. You would never have to call me back here again. Because he was raised to respect everyone. And so I never had any problems with him after that. Because I told him what I would do.
Right.
They called me back. But Jaydian was always a good boy. He always was obedient to what I said. He always listened. And he was always, and the thing about Jaydian is when he was about 2, he wasn't talking. I was so concerned. And I took him to the speech therapist. I said, something's wrong with this child because he doesn't talk. But when he started, he just took off. But he has always been a good boy. And I've always tried to instill Christian principles in him. And I think it has taken him a long way.
Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to know, when you put this together to submit to the church and you sat down to write it, what was going through your mind at the time? Because, I mean, as I said many times already from when this is exhaustive and this is only a part of what he's accomplished. So how were you able to put this all together, and what kind of emotions were you going through at the time when you were writing this? Because this is a proud moment.
I was crying and I was saying, unbelievable. And I couldn't fathom all the work that he has done, as a young child, a young man. And at the church, when they called him up for the nomination, they said, is his mother here? And they really thought it was a good moment for him, and I was very proud of him.
And how did you feel when you accepted that award?
I felt honored, when I went on the stage, and Dr. Miles Monroe put me aside and said, do you realize that this is history? You're the first awardee.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you so much. And, it was a great experience. We have a problem in this country at times when it comes to men. Men kind of fall by the wayside, and that's why I'm doing as much as I can to try to get other men involved and say, hey, this guy's doing something. Let me try to partner with him.
Right.
So I can't stop. You can't stop.
Isn't that amazing?
I know.
It's really amazing because you find so many times that, like you said, there is kind of a stigma when it comes to men in the country, and especially young men. And a lot of times we just look at them and say, oh, they're no good, leave them alone, whatever. They're going to be criminals and grow up and not be contributing members to the society. So for someone to actually recognize that and actually do something about it, not necessarily going out there trying to change the world, but trying to say, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do with what I, in my little corner of the universe. And hopefully in doing that, it hopefully inspires someone else. So that's really amazing, and I applaud you for that.
But I want to talk a little bit about Addis as well, his community involvement just for men. He started, as we mentioned earlier, the fund for Bahamas Primary School Student of the Year, and that's $1,500 annually that he gives to a student. And
Cindy, sorry to interrupt. Could I say a story about that?
Yes.
All right. Let me remembers. So, I think it was the last year, when I gave, I think, Mateus from St. Beats an award. And my mom said she went, where'd you go, Mom, to Robin Hood?
I was at work.
Tell the story, because you know the story.
I worked at Scotiabank.
Okay.
And I was presently working at Scotiabank Caves Village. And this gentleman came into the bank, and he said to me, I was serving him, and he said, I work at Robin Hood. So I said, oh, okay. I said, then you must know my children, Leslie and Jaydian. And he said, yes, Jaydian gave my son an award.
Wow.
And I'm saying, what award? Because Jaydian didn't tell me.
Right.
He didn't tell me. And he's been borrowing money from me
So you want to know where
all
this money
this time. And I didn't know he was saving his money for this award.
That's right.
He didn't tell me. And so when I got home, I asked him, I said, what award is this gentleman? And then he told me about it.
Wow.
Did he have to pay the money back?
I'm serious. No. But see, did you hear that? He saved his money
yeah.
to help somebody else. That's
Yeah.
That's
just
like
start
key.
with what you have, with
Exactly.
where you are. You don't
So
wait for
let me spend
someone
your
else.
money, but I
Yeah.
say no. But the point I'm making is he saved his money for someone else. People always use the excuse that I don't have anything to give. You have something. If it's not finances, it's time, it's talent, it's something. So it doesn't also have to be a treasure. But in your case, you were able to help Kevin, Kenton Wallace also. You remember him from Andres? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives $1,500 annually to a student. That's a lot, especially for a family island student who, you know, may not have school fees, but still has, you know, books and uniforms and all those other things.
And this year I didn't borrow money from mom. So.
Yeah, let's get that out there.
Mom was looking like, oh really?
Because I'm missing some money.
I learned after the first year.
Well, we want to talk about the other achievements, Jaydian, when we come back, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do our first trivia of the morning. Be
BTC
right
trivia.
back. Yes. Okay, and we're back.
And we're back.
So, Jaydian, during the break, we were talking about a couple of things, and your mom had mentioned something really interesting that you do for your friends' moms and other associates of yours. You want to tell us a little bit about that, Mom?
Yes, I would meet people on the street and they would tell me, yes, Jaydian calls me for Mother's Day, my birthday, and Christmas.
Okay,
And I'm
Jaydian.
saying, really? Yeah.
You know you're making it really bad for the rest of us, right?
And
Because I don't remember half the people's birthdays. And
know,
it's not
right?
because I don't want to. It's just because I just...
it is because you don't want to. Because I
What?
said,
Let me tell you exactly how it started. When I was young and I was in high school, I didn't have a cell phone. So what I would do, I memorized 100 numbers from when I was young. So every time I come home, when I was away to school, every Christmas or hurricane, just this most recent, I called people during the hurricane.
You
Hey,
call
everything
me?
okay?
You call me?
Exactly. And I messaged people on my WhatsApp to see if they were okay. Say, man, you messaged me, man, I appreciate that. Because, see, I'm a people person. That's just how I am. That's why I say it's my purpose. And I called a particular lady, Miss Thompson, and I said, Mom, how you doing? She always calls me Hurricane Boy. She says he's a Hurricane Boy. So I said, Mom, you know what it says? This is Jaydian, this is my boy, man. You always call during hurricanes. So, you know, but like I said, I love what I do. You know,
Oh,
and
man.
it's about, I'm a family person. You know, my mom has been a family woman, and I'm a family man, and she passed it on to me, and you know, it's really the thing she instilled, her and my dad, and I thank her very much. You know, so.
That's the important thing about this finding.
I'm trying to find my WhatsApp. I woke up because I slept through the hurricane, but I woke
did
up
too.
and I got this thing from Jaydian on my phone saying, "I'm concerned about you. Is everything okay?" And I said, "What?" Jaydian's concerned about me, trying to figure out if everything is okay, and I felt so special till I found out he did it to everybody, and I was like, "All right, then. I guess that's a good thing." But that's the kind of things that he does, you know. He partnered with the Boys Club of the Bahamas and participated in their Father-Son month of activities. How was that for you? And what caused you to get involved in that?
Well, first I'll shout out to Reverend Samuel Roll. He's the president of the organization. I met him last year. I'm trying to remember where I met him. I can't think of it right now, but I met him last year, and I realized that he worked with men. And like I said, the problem that we have with men in the country, so I said, man, let's go. I'll partner with you. And we had a Father-Son month last year, and we had it again this year. And this year was much better. It was much more support. We had 250 boys and men at the Father-Son breakfast.
Wow.
And we had a bowling night at Mario's, which was well attended, and a few other events. And see, I think with men, you have to kind of pace yourself, because it's much easier to get women out there. You know that.
Yes.
When it comes to
yes,
civic events, it's
yes.
much easier. But every year we just got to keep doing it, and after a while it'll pick up.
No, and you're quite right. And I think that what you started obviously is going to go a long way, because as we go through this list, like Christian Teen Scene Camp in Bannerman Town in Nootka. Now, you say that this was a humbling opportunity, and you were able to, I guess, minister to a lot of young boys between the ages of 11 and 14 for a whole week. Like, that's a serious commitment.
Yes, it was so different because, like, I was talking to my mom and I said, in my mind, I was like, how did I get here? How did I get from, being home to being at TC's Christian camp with the kids? And it's God, because God knows where He wants me to be. He placed me the right people, placed me in the right area, and I just follow what He wants me to do.
And that's interesting too, because last night I was making a comment to somebody that, when God speaks, you have to listen. When I'm getting ready in the morning, I put oil on my feet and I say, God, I need you to order my steps today, because I know then that everywhere I go is purposely ordained by you. And somebody said to me, you're crazy, because how do you know that, God is ordering your steps? You go where you want to go. And I'm like, no, because when you make a decision to live for Him, there are places that you're not going to go. There are things that you're not going to say. There are things that you're not going to do. And so it's a whole change in you. And you have to be so in tune that I made a comment to my husband last night, on Sunday mornings when I'm getting ready for church, I'll be watching Joel or somebody, and the message is always very timely. And so he'll walk in the room and he'll say something, and I'm like, the devil sent you in here to ask me this question just because he knows I'm getting the word. And he looked at me and he's like, you're crazy. Like, no, you're saying that I can't even ask you a question. But what I meant was that Satan is so slick that he uses little situations like that. And if you're not in tune with God, you won't even recognize that it's a distraction. And so for you, I'm so proud because you recognize where God wants you to be and when, and you're obedient in terms of letting Him order your steps. And that's why I brought that whole scenario up.
Yeah, and it's not always easy, I'm sure.
It's
there's
not.
Sometimes when God speaks, and you're like, are you serious?
Right.
But
you really want me to do this?
But I'm sure Jaydian can attest to this. When you do have the courage to walk in that divine destiny, then everything else becomes easy.
Falls into place.
Yeah,
That's
very
not
easy.
true though. Like, when you choose to allow God to order your steps, there are so many obstacles that come up because people are going to come against you, and they're going to discourage you, and you got to stand even if it's by yourself. Mother Pratt told me one day, she said, you have to do what God tells you to do even when it makes you feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I never really understood that until I had to do it once. Yeah. Everybody was against me, but I knew that this was what God wanted me to do, and I did it. And I'm trying to figure out now, had I not done it, would I have been this further, as far ahead as I am now, or would I have still been, 10 years behind? Because those people who judged and who spoke negatively are still where I was at that point, you see? So I think for you, it's a combination, Jaydian, of spirituality, and you obviously truly submit and allow God to show you what you want to do. And I've heard you say many times that sometimes you're not sure, and when you're still is when you get your word. And I guess that's true for all of us. Like, when you're in a state of confusion, you have to realize that God doesn't operate in chaos. He operates in order,
That's true. And one thing I realized too, sometimes we even ask God for stuff. God, I want better finances, or I want better family relationship, or better this. But I realize now, recently, if you're not willing to sacrifice something that you normally wouldn't sacrifice,
right,
God is not going to work in your favor. You have to give up something in order to say, okay, I'm going to make a deal with you, God. I give up this in order for you to help me with this.
Exactly.
And He'll listen to you.
Exactly.
But you can't just operate in the same manner and expect Him to open doors. No, it doesn't work like that.
Sacrifice is important. And the other thing that you and I discussed recently too was, when we ask for stuff, it doesn't mean we're going to get it. Mm-hmm. And so if God doesn't feel that it's right for us, just because we want it and He said, ask whatever you want, does not mean that I'm going to give you whatever you want if it's not what is in line with His will. So, and we talked about that last week when we were having a discussion, and it's true, and I don't think that people really see, and the good thing for you is you're young and you get this now. Mm-hmm. People get this like at 50,
People have to have a lifetime of bad experiences and bad choices and mistakes, and before they get it.
Exactly.
Okay, this is what it's all about. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is the direction I'm supposed to go. But by then, they're 50, 60 years old.
Exactly, and life is almost over.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's amazing.
And then, we talk about mentoring and motivating youth of America at the Orlando location. What was that all about?
That was, I spoke to my mom one night. Mom said, Jane, you should do motivational speaking. I said, Mommy, no.
Yes.
No, Mommy, no. I would never find a job in that. I sat down on Career Builder one night till 4 in the morning and I said, let me look. Looking. And I found this mentoring organization. I said, well, I found something. So I applied. The guy called me immediately, spoke to me, heard my passion, said, man, we need you. And I got involved with 4 boys. And I think 11, 13, 15, and 18. And a lot of these guys got in trouble. I had to try to, my responsibility was to intervene, take them to the movies, talk to them, bring them food, stuff like that, to keep them focused. I realized that sometimes when you speak to people, you never know what they take from you.
Right.
So that's why I don't give up, because there's one person for those 1,000 people that's going to catch what you say, and they remember it.
And is it worth it, even if it's only for one? You know what I mean?
God even said that you gotta save one, you get one. So that's the same mindset I try to have. You can't change everybody. You can't.
And then we have the Bowl for Bragg tournament. I think you also initiated that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we talk about partnering with the Bahamas National Youth Council and the Torchbearers Youth Association for the blood drive. I mean,
That was last year. So we decided that, hey, we need to get together, partner up, and get blood. Now, when we first got to the event, we had a few issues initially. But in a 2 to 3 hour time frame, we got 50 pints of blood. And these are from COB students.
I see that.
And it shows their commitment. Young people. Because, you could always it's hard to get young people interested. If you don't bring phone cards or phones or water or food,
you need to motivate them,
But they came out
and a blue mystic.
Exactly. Look here, we ain't talking about no cutters now. We ain't talking about no cutters. But, I mean, the fact that they understood these are young people doing this and they supported us goes a long way, and it means a lot.
Amen. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Cindy Smith Bowl for breast cancer, get sweaty, stay pretty, all this other good stuff, Jaydian. We have so much more to talk about this morning. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. So Cindy Smith Bowl for breast cancer. Who was Cindy Smith and how did we come up with this tournament?
Well, let me first of all say good morning to Cindy Smith's family.
Yes.
And condolences to the family.
Yes.
Cindy Smith is really a close friend of mine. Darlene Sands, her sister, who is now the organizer and founder of the Cindy Smith Breast Cancer Tournament. Last year when I met her, I realized she had a sister who was sick. And I said, you know what, Darlene, you should start a bowling tournament, for breast cancer. Now at the time, my mind was thinking far. Her mind was probably like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And Cindy died this year. God bless her soul. Yeah. And when Darlene and I started it last year, people came and supported. It was a good event. I always tell people when you first start an initiative, it's a learning process.
Right.
Sometimes you won't come out with a bang, And this year, I'm sure Cindy's proud because Darlene Sands went on the radio. She was all over the airwaves. She was all over the news. And people came in swarms. We had many teams participate. 8 teams participated this year. And Zadness did some coverage on it. And this year I know that she's happy and proud that now things are really steamrolling ahead.
So she was alive for the first one.
The first one. But she didn't get to attend because the bones in her legs were really weak. So she couldn't come.
Okay.
But, we told her about the event and she was very happy and excited. Very happy and excited.
And so how much were you able to raise this year?
This year we raised $945.
Wow, that is excellent.
That's enough for a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, Porter Calf is like $550. Yeah. So yeah.
Last year $1,100.
So, And see, here again, okay, he hears about somebody who's not doing well, so he tries to think of a way that we can raise funds to help the cause.
As opposed to just sitting there and talking about it. Oh, someone should do something, to help Cindy, or someone should do something, do whatever. You actually get out there and you do something.
Exactly. And I was asking your mom when you were in the other room, are your other siblings as supportive and into community service as you are? And she says, yes, you were all brought up that way. So she has a whole family of children who are familiar with giving back and helping people. So it's not just one child that's singled out, it's the whole group. How often do you find a family that has every member that is so committed to causes?
How often do you find mothers that are so committed to raising children that actually have that kind of mindset?
Exactly. And so big kudos to you, Mom. Big kudos.
Thanks, Mom. It wasn't a cakewalk for Mom. Like Mom said, when I was 2, I wasn't talking. So, it's
Okay.
It was funny when they started talking. Mom said, Jaydian, can you give me a break? You're talking too much now. You're talking too much, Jaydian. Give me a break. And I remember when we used to go away to Fort Lauderdale to the swap shop. Remember the swap shop?
Yes,
the swap shop.
It's still there.
It's still there. Yeah,
I need to go visit. That's memories. And I had a folder full of cars from A to Z.
Wow.
And I'd be in the car recycling them from A to Z. Going from Acura or Audi all the way to the bottom. And my sister was like, Jaydian, be quiet, man.
Yes.
I remember Mommy said you wasn't talking, now you talk so much. So I guess the talking actually helped me now to this day.
Right.
So.
And the other thing about that is I find incredible that you were able to memorize 100 phone numbers because he didn't have a phone.
Well, back in the day, though, that's what you did.
No, you can memorize 100 phone numbers.
Before you had address books in your phone and stuff like that.
You wrote it down.
And then you remember, I still remember phone numbers from when I was a little kid. Like my grandmother's phone number.
Oh, well,
before
come on, Grammys are
had
different.
7 numbers. My grandmother's phone number was 55087.
Put it out there. She's still alive?
She's still alive. She's not a number anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, but I agree that yes, we didn't have the technology then that we have now. But even back then, I'm not good at memorizing anything. Okay, first of all, so I have to write everything down. And to this day, I still have to write it down and give me a reminder, because if it doesn't ping, then I won't remember it. So people always say to me, well, why don't you just repeat it over in your head? Doesn't work for me. But you have that gift that you can remember things photographically or however you do it.
Yeah, I can talk a lot. I remember a lot.
And that's a good thing, because as we continue to go down these pages, artists,
Jeepers creepers.
personal service initiatives. So we talked about the Boulder Bride, Get Sweaty, Stay Pretty. What was that?
Well, that's an event that started last year with the Progressive Young Liberals.
Yes.
I sat down and thought about an event and said, we need to do something interesting, something different.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Okay, great. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cafe.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're great. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
And I don't know why I turned my radio to you this morning, but
Well, thank you for doing that.
there's a purpose. I mean, I listen to you guys during the week, but on Saturday mornings, I just like music.
Right.
But God has a purpose for everybody,
Amen.
and there's a reason for everything. Okay?
Yes.
So, anyway, Jaydian, I have to meet you. I have a class of 18 boys, and my passion is also boys.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a grade 3 class that doesn't recognize letters or numbers, I mean, in the school system, we have a lot of work we have to do.
Yes.
I need some help, I need somebody to help me or to talk to my boys or something. I need to find a way to reach these kids or to do something. So, I mean, I don't know why I called you or what my purpose is, but I know I need help. And Jaydian, I'm proud of you, and I don't even know you.
Thank you so much.
And we're glad you called as well.
I don't know if you do talks at schools, but our young people need the mentoring and the talking. So don't you stop doing that. Keep talking.
Yeah, it's very, very, very important to be able to have positive role models in the community out there,
And young ones.
so that young men like your students, ma'am, can look at someone that's still relatable. It's not so far removed from their age. It's not, this one's old as my grandfather.
Right.
That's right. And every child can learn.
Yeah.
Every child can learn. Now, I can't worry about what they don't have.
Right.
I have to worry about what I need to give them
Right.
before they leave me, and
Well,
how
certainly-
I can help them to do whatever, to get better, or to get whatever they need before they leave me.
Certainly, what we can do this morning, and I know you don't want to be identified, so off air we can take your information and have Jaydian contact you after the show, and I guess you two can set up a schedule to meet and see how he can help, because this is what he does. He helps people, and it's his passion. And as you can hear, this for him is going to be a lifelong journey.
And I want to say thank you so much.
And you know, we gotta pray over our kids.
Yes.
You know, we don't pray enough. I don't think we pray. We need to pray over our kids, and I don't mean just our kids, our own kids, the neighbors' kids,
Yes.
your nieces, your nephews. You know, every child you come in contact with, you have to pray over these children.
I think what we do is we pray, but we don't pray in faith. You know?
Well, we need to really pray and pray for these kids. We need to do a lot, try to help these kids. And prayer changes a lot of things. I think a lot of us, we don't pray. We wake up every morning and we don't thank God for just waking us up.
Amen. Amen.
For just a brand new day. I mean, it doesn't matter the aches and pains you have, but sometimes you just got to say, thank you, Lord, for letting me see the sunshine this morning.
Amen. And that is so true. We just start our days hurriedly and give God like half a second and move on, when it's really because of Him that we woke up. And so certainly I agree with you that we need to pray more, and we need to not pray only for ourselves but stand in the gap for others. And certainly the children that are going to be the future of this nation are the ones that we need to focus on. And so thank you for reminding us that we need to cover other people and not only ourselves.
And I will say this, ma'am, it may not seem like you're getting through to them, but I guarantee you that your passion, your spirit, your intention is making an impact on those kids, whether you realize it or not, whether they recognize it at this particular point in their lives. But the love and the passion that you have for them will take root in their lives, and it will manifest itself when they need it most. Yes. So you stay encouraged, and you continue doing what you're doing, and don't give up on those kids.
Amen.
Do you go to schools? Do you mentor kids in schools?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do. Okay. And you know, I'm committed to the cause, and we're going to talk a little bit today about the situation, and I'm definitely committed to helping you, because, like I said, at the end of the day, these are actually the starts of the future. And if we don't start now and work with them now, we're going to lose them. And right now, we need to work together so we don't lose them.
Especially the boys, especially our boys.
Very true.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so very much for calling us this morning.
Thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will do BTC Trivia. I'll be right back.
Get that Samsung Galaxy.
Oh, and we're back. Wow, we had sleeping.
I know.
We had so much fun during
so
the
much
break,
fun
though. I know.
today. What an awesome show.
I know, and we're going to end with our BTC Trivia so people could listen to the other things that Jaydian did before we end. We only have a couple of minutes, maybe 3-4 minutes left. So quickly, Jaydian, we need to just talk about your additional community service initiatives, like raising funds for the Salvation Army through the fraternity, where we all do that if you're a part of fraternities and sororities. Turning houses into homes initiative with the Bahamas National Youth Council. I'm interested to hear what that is.
Yes, I want to give shout outs to Bahamas National Youth Council and our president, Mr. Tyson McKenzie. Last year we started it. There was a lady that we went to who lives in the Burnett Road area, and she has kids. She has 3 kids, and it's her. And we went to the house, and the house really needed repainting.
Right.
And we got the supplies. We went and painted the house. We painted each room different colors, and she came hugging us and kissing us. We're so happy, and you know, and that's why we have turning houses into homes, because many people have houses, many people don't have homes.
Amen.
And we turned the house into a home.
Okay.
Ms. Ramin, what is your dream?
Listen to me, yes. I'm a married Ramin, I'm sorry.
What's your dream for your son?
I would like Jaydian to continue with his purpose. He knows his purpose, and I want him to continue to help people. That's what he was raised for. That's what God ordained him for, and I want him to continue to do that. That's his passion. So Jaydian, go for it.
Amen.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Well, very quickly, Jaydian, I see you did some work with PACE, and you know I sit on their board as well. Susan G. Coleman, Race for the Cure, again, a tribute to Cindy. And I'm sure she must be looking down on you and smiling big time.
What's next?
But yeah, good question. What next? But obviously more community stuff.
Community stuff.
Adelaide Primary School annual South Florida Undergraduate Communications Honors Conference.
We want to thank our guests today.
Yes.
Jaydian Miller and Miss Ramming.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to
Thank you so
have
much.
you guys back as well as Jaydian continues to do more and make more of a mark in the community. Congratulations on all of this work, Jaydian. So proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And we want to thank our sponsors this morning again, BTC and Prescription Parlor Pharmacy. And we have one more phone to give away before Christmas from
So
BTC.
keep listening.
So keep listening, keep winning. And we'll see you next Saturday. Have a great weekend.
Have a great day.